Hello, friends. I'm re-releasing this slideshow with some commentary to give you all a better idea of what was going on. So, I was alive when that motorcycle came out and I wanted one. So, I found one on Craigslist and I went and bought it. I also wanted to build a cafe racer. Everybody was building and still are CB750s and that kind of stuff. So, I wanted to do something different. So, instead of trying to buy all the plastic bits and restore this Interceptor, this was my base. A lot of this stuff came from Craigslist, the rest of it came from eBay, and I made the rest. So here we are looking at the seat brackets. I cut off the seat hanger assembly. It's not going to have a back seat. Nobody's going to sit on it. So that cleaned up the backside of the frame. These are some NCR 400 rear sets I got off of eBay. And then I had to drill holes and weld bungs into the frame. So it's got the position that I like. It's going to look all right. I mean, I know it's gaudy, but only a solo seat. So I cut the seat off and then I found an upholsterer to recover it for me. Sent that off. This rear pod is from my BMW. Just pulled it off and fit it on there, and that's what I was going to use. So here we are with my Cafe Racer look. I kind of liked it. The problem is now there's all that wiring that has to be relocated. So we're going to move it up underneath the fuel tank, take the wiring harness out, shorten it, resolder it, get it small enough to fit in there. I picked up the CBR shock, and then there's a kit to make it longer so that it fits, but I cut up some crank arms from some Shimano 105 crank arms and made my own brackets, and it works just fine. To weld up this tab, change the shock reservoir. I was going to put a Red Bull can on it like the kids do, but I stopped. I didn't like the big single headlight, so I went with two small ones. It's got an LED ring which quickly burn out, but the lights still work. It's an Acewell all-in-one gauge, so it's got the tack and everything else in there. I wired the fuel gauge to the temperature side of the bike, so works for something since there's no fuel gauge in that tank. Tank had some pretty big dents in it from over the years, so standard body work on all that stuff. I cleaned it the way I like it, right? Um, so there's no paint around the fuel filler cap, but I did that on purpose. So this is just step by step of spraying, sanding, and then finally put some paint on it, and then you got to color sand and clear coat and all that other stuff. So the red from the fender to the tank is the same, and then I carried that over all the way to the little tailpiece. So it's all going to match. This is the duplicolor paint that you can buy in the cans and mix yourself, the all-in-one system. I don't really like it. The clear coat that comes with that just disintegrates when it gets gasoline on it. So it's going to have to be repainted. Took it all apart to finish it, right? So I'm going to get the frame powder coated. I got to build some covers for these holes in the frame that used to be covered by plastic. Got to get the motor set up, prettied up and finished. Did a lot of things you don't really have to do, but it's my build, so I have time for all of that. Made time for myself. Um, I bought all titanium socket cap bolts. Does it make a difference? No, not really, but I like it. So here's where we're fitting up the frame. I had this stainless steel mesh. Going to use that to cover the holes and, give it a little bit of dimension when you're standing back and looking at it. Finally got the motor back and the frame back from powder coating, and we're going on the reassembly process, getting everything hooked back up, and then take it out and ride it for a little while. It's not finished, right? It's never finished. See that yellow shock? That bothered me. So got to get rid of yellow shock. got to paint it red like the rest of the bike. It's a fun bike to ride. It's not as fast as I want it to be. It's only a 500, and I'm older and heavier than I was when I was 16 when this thing came out. But still drive it today. It's sitting in the shop. If you're watching the other videos, you'll see it sitting around in the background. This picture is from out near Fredericksburg. Went on a little trip out there, took the bike on the trailer. It was running very lean. That air box and the exhaust combination leaned out those carbs, so I ended up having to get a air fuel meter and plug that in, and then get some factory jets and rejet the carbs. It's on again, off again process, but once you get it right, it runs really, really good. The only thing I'll have to do now is the exhaust is not what I want. I want true 2-into-1 on each side, so upcoming when there is some time, I'll be ripping the exhaust off, getting some pipe, and then fabricating a new exhaust system for the whole bike. I haven't decided if it's going to be a side dump yet, like what's currently on there, or if I'm going to tuck it up under and run it up and underneath the tail. But, we'll figure that out when we get there. I had some extra fairings laying around, so I just cut one up and formed it into place to put a little bug eye on there. Just changes the look a little bit. Doesn't provide any wind protection at all. It does help for viewing the speedometer. That speedometer is not very bright, and when the sun hits it the right way, you can't see it. I got a couple other videos related to this motorcycle. There's a VF500 playlist. If you want to see some more stuff about this bike, that's where you need to go. I'll put a link right here at the end of the video. Hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Y'all take care.